Demonstrators and attendees tonight are expected to bring up a host of issues, from what they believe is a lack of justice in this particular case in Ferguson to broader nationwide concerns and allegations of police misconduct and racial profiling. While this measure tonight passed 7-4, city council members in opposition believe the proposed streetcar extension and its expanded price tag should be derailed until a clear funding formula is in place. Neighbors arriving home this afternoon are being greeted with an unusual sight for this subdivision: police cars and crime tape after an afternoon shooting just across the street from the neighborhood pool. Joshua Hauser's second-degree murder indictment comes the same month an autopsy showed that Kyla Davenport died from pneumonia due to complications from blunt force head trauma. This will be President Obama's first event in Charlotte since the 2012 Democratic National Convention, and CMPD leaders said they're fully prepared with a plan in place, including the president's route to and from Uptown.
You got the roof. We believe that's where it started.
A sanctuary in shambles.
It's mind-blowing.
Brown pews charred black, tambourines and literature destroyed, a devoted congregation violated.
I cried when I first saw it. Who does this?
Temple of Refuge Church of the Living God congregation members searched for answers Tuesday. Investigators said an early morning fire was intentionally set and severely damaged a home away from home for more than 100 people.
We were a growing congregation, working in the community, food bank, clothing bank. Now we need help.
Members scrambled to salvage materials inside the church. The arson canceled Bible study Tuesday night and forced church leaders to find a plan B for Sunday service.
Who and why? Where do we go from here?
With crime tape surrounding the church, members chose not to be angry, but focus on rebuilding.
They may have destroyed our church, but they didn't break our spirit.
My heart goes out to whomever did it, and I will pray for them.
Police cruised the neighborhood for clues Tuesday afternoon. With damage estimated in the tens of thousands of dollars, church leaders await to see how much insurance will cover and if arson marks the end of a historic building just north of Uptown. In Charlotte, Brad Broders, Time Warner Cable News.
It was devastating. It's horrible.
Raw emotions overflowed for loved ones and neighbors Monday morning after the shooting death of 18-year-old Adrienne Williams in Charlotte's Greer Heights neighborhood.
They haven't even begun to live their life yet, and it's already taken.
Police found Williams shot dead after 10 a.m. on Wheatley Avenue. Authorities arrested and charged 30-year-old Aaron McGriff in Williams' murder, the result of what police said was an ongoing dispute.
I admit to that. I did that.
Before turning himself in Monday afternoon, McGriff said he pulled the trigger on Williams, but only in self-defense.
We had a dispute in the pathway, and he went to reach for a gun. So when he reached for his gun, I seen the handle of the gun, and then I pulled mine out and shot him.
According to CMPD's crime mapping software, since July, there have been 67 reported crimes within 0.2 of a mile of Monday's murder in Greer Heights, including vandalism, burglary, and assaults. Frustrated neighbors who didn't want their face shown said the deadly crime in broad daylight is especially troubling, considering children are home on holiday break.
It's not cool to be just spraying these guns around here. Like, nobody's gonna get hurt. Somebody's gonna get hurt.
Neighbors also said CMPD's Crime Spotter system in Greer Heights, a system of microphones set up in 2013 to better pinpoint shooting scenes, isn't doing a good enough job in stopping the gunfire.
The little shotters that they put on the poles, you know, that don't even matter because it's not catching anybody.
Neighbors hope something will change to make emotional scenes like this less frequent in the weeks and months ahead. In Charlotte, Brad Broders, Time Warner Cable News. Few ladies and gentlemen still voicing their displeasure on that grand jury decision Monday night. And while the demonstrations related to Ferguson tonight were peaceful, they also sent a forceful message about how Charlotte can improve its own relations between police and the neighbors they serve. Justice! Now! Passionate pleas. Hands up, don't shoot! Hundreds Tuesday night in Charlotte were alarmed a grand jury decided the police officer who shot Michael Brown will not face charges for his death.
We are here for the millions of other Mike Browns around the nation. Ferguson, Missouri could be anyone's backyard.
Cops are not supposed to be having a license to kill.
This peaceful demonstration in Marshall Park included Jerome Ewing, who lived in the Ferguson and St. Louis area for decades before moving to Charlotte.
Having lived there all of my life, I've seen how we are treated. You know, how we're not taken serious about anything that we do. And it's just about time that it comes to a halt.
With Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police overseeing the demonstrators march several blocks from Marshall Park to the federal courthouse, where a second rally brought up similar concerns of the relationship between residents and police.
Is there a difference between us as citizens and officers with superior training and superior experience?
Other participants urged the Charlotte City Council to approve more body cameras for CMPD officers and asked the city to endorse state legislation that would address perceived profiling.
North Carolina is much more diverse, and we need to be culturally sensitive because a lot of times the lack of communication could lead to a bad situation.
And that was Representative Rodney Moore there. He's proposing that anti-profiling state legislation, which the Charlotte City Council will hear an update about at its December 8th meeting. Now, as for CMPD body cameras, earlier this year, the Charlotte City Council approved paying for 160 new body cameras, but right now it's unclear how the city will find more money to put more of those cameras out on the streets. Reporting live in Uptown Charlotte, Brad Broders, Time Warner Cable News.
We had got an eviction notice from the landlord.
Medical bills piling and out of a job. Veteran Scotty Wright risked losing his home not long after returning home from service.
It's very fearful if, facing the fact that you're about to be homeless.
With time ticking, Wright found hope and help a few months ago through Community Link, an agency that provides temporary financial assistance to keep families in their homes.
Without them, we would be packed up on the road somewhere, God knows where.
Mecklenburg County leaders want to help more veterans like Wright, either at risk or currently homeless.
It's a revolving door, to be perfectly honest, and we have a lot more work we need to do.
On Veterans Day, this group called on more nonprofit groups to serve, companies to hire, and agencies to find homes for Mecklenburg County's homeless veterans.
You can't ask for a better tenant, a better employee, a better community member than a veteran.
The initiative's goal is to find permanent housing for all of Mecklenburg County's estimated 200 or so homeless veterans by the end of 2015.
It should never be that a person who goes to put their lives on the line for our nation should never return to this country without a place to live.
Wright fully supports the initiative, knowing all too well how much a little assistance can mean in keeping a veteran's family and home afloat and intact.
I mean, it means the world to me. It just means my daughter still has a place to come. We don't have to worry about where we're going to lay our head.
In Charlotte, Brad Broders, Time Warner Cable News.